What's up, everybody? This is Nick here with TradeSpace. Another day trading the open, and we're looking at the ES&Q, Crude Light, and Gold today. Now, for those of you who aren't in the Discord, you probably don't know, but we are already up about $600 today on gold. Took a pre-morning trade. Yes, I have already been at the charts for about 2.5 hours now. So we've already made our first trade. We're already up $600 on the day. I did post a screenshot in the Discord if any of y'all are curious. Okay, big day. Let's start with the ES here. So daily, once again, wedge up. Now it's interesting. So we have the major wedge, which is here. I'm not going to draw a top line. We're going to go through this quickly. And we have our first profit target hit, our second profit target hit here. And then I thought that we might get another small leg down on this day here, and we didn't. Instead, we got a big surprise reversal up, and it's a wedge for the bulls. 1, 2, 3. Wedge bottom. In fact, it's even a double bottom failure. A double bottom failure is a type of wedge. So our first profit target is going to be the previous lower high. So bulls are looking to get there in the next day or so, and it is still possible that we are in a range here, and this would be the top of the wedge here. 1, 2, 3. But we still have the high as a magnet. High is going to be a magnet. I think that we are going to test that here in the weeks to come, weeks or months to come. Just a matter of time, really. Okay, so let's go ahead and reduce down. One-hour chart. Just going to go through this briefly. 1 and 2 legs down in here. Let's mark this level. Make it relatively straight. And let's look at the 15 here. And on the 15, zoom out some. Very much the same story. Let's see what kind of trend lines we can draw. So I'm not going to draw one. You could potentially draw one from here. I don't think that's really necessary. I think this is what we're looking at here. Alrighty. One leg down, 2 leg down. Looks kind of like a measured move. Lots of bullish context here. Gap up. So logic would say that we're going higher. Let's see if we get a third leg down here. If we get a third leg down, that might be a good place to buy on the ES. 1, 2, 3, wedge down. Maybe it'll be a wedge at the overnight low. That might be a decent buy. It's the 15, here's 5, 1, let's see. Still just kind of 1, 2 on the 5, right? 1, 2. So see, this is kind of choppy. Maybe we will get a third leg down. Bull bars, lots of them. many of them closing at their high, and none of them have follow through to them. So you say that it's probably likely we'll get one more leg down. A little bit of a buy climax here. Of course, we are at the market open. When we're at the market open, that is a change of the market cycle. And so a lot of times it can, it's a change in the attitude of the market, really. It's kind of like in social situations. You have a social situation, you have one group of friends, and it feels one way to be around them. You have another group, feels a different way. That's what's happening with the market right now. You can say the market is really emotional. I'd say it is. But it's also very logical. And in reality, it's kind of just emotional because of our own emotions. Okay, we're not going to spend too much time here then. Let's look at NQ. NQ, very much the same thing going on. Very much the same thing. I think one of the big differences is it is still a wedge down on the NQ, right? It's go through this every day, so hopefully I shouldn't need to explain it too much. Wedge, one, draw it here, two, wedge, profit target. Alright, so the issue with it is we have this big bull bar, just really nice, testing the moving average for the NQ, but we have three previous bear bars. So it is a place to buy, but it makes me question the upside just a little bit on NQ, or if it's not going to be something like bull bar, doji at the moving average, maybe one more bar, and then another up bar, another bull bar. Also very similar to the ES. 1, 2, and 3 legs down. Let's look to see kind of what's happening here. This isn't really 3 legs down on the ES. In the NQ though, we have a break the previous leg's low, so it is a leg down. And that is the, let's see, that is a 15-minute. 5-minute, kind of the same thing. Sometimes these little legs, like this right here, can get a little bit tricky when you're counting overall. But one thing that can kind of help you is trying to find legs that are similar length. So there's not really another leg in here that has a length from here to here. You know what I mean? There's not really another one like that. But there are ones that are this big, because this one here is about that big. Do have a new low. Kind of sitting here talking maybe a little bit too much, but we have a nice little signal bar, being this bull bar here, 52 points of risk on it. If you did take that trade though, your profit target should be this high here. It should be your first profit target. Let's look right here real fast. Kind of the same thing. Well, the ES is in more of a channel here, a small channel. Now, this is the open, but previous to this, despite this being choppy, there were 4 bull bars in a row, so maybe buying is picking up just a tad. Okay, let's look at some other things. Sellers starting to come in here at one of our profit targets. We also have a profit target here, which we're beginning to get a bear bar, so we might be seeing some profit takers. It's not really a reason to go short on the daily chart, however. You can go short on something like a 5 though. Honestly, it's not a bad signal. There is a really nice channel up though, and so that makes me wonder if there's going to be one more leg up before any more selling takes place again, which kind of make this a trap, really. Real tight trading range on gold. As you can see, I have my new bar counter up. Guys, if you're interested in this bar counter, you can message me. I also have other trading tools for NinjaTrader. A lot of them are in development, but if you talk to me, you can get a heads up as soon as they come out. This includes indicators and trading bots. So if you're interested in any of those, be sure to message me and I will get you informed. You can message me on Discord or on Fiverr, either one. Okay, so as you can see too, our bar counter restarts at the beginning of the day, so we always know what bar we're on. These are short. Let's see. Looking at gold again. So gold, I just kind of caught this little breakout here, and I'd still be in this trade, but I did close it before the market opened. If you're interested in that trade, I posted a picture of it on my Discord. You can go check it out there. Okay, let's go back to the ES real quick. Here's our leg down. This is going to complete our wedge 1, 2, 3. So we're going to look at an entry somewhere here. There is some kind of strong bearish action, so we're going to have to be wary. We're going to have to be careful of this a little bit. There's the wedge down on NQ. We need to break this low, or at least get a double bottom here and a signal. Remember guys, we're looking for a good signal bar. Let's see if buyers start to come in here or not. Okay, we're not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to look at these two. Disadvantage is here. A little bit afraid it's going to be the size of the bars, but that could potentially also give me good risk to reward. So I am willing to take a wedge at the open 1, 2, 3 and take this trade if it's got reasonable risk to it. I'm probably, let's see here. Right around the EMA, we are above it. Just trying to determine a good profit target here. So it's 1, 2, and this will be 3. So our profit target would technically be this high. With that being said, though, we have a profit target on the daily too, and it's just difficult to determine if the day is going to be the day for it to break out. I'm not going to say that it is. I'm going to say that we'll get to here and then we'll look for another entry. If we get a good signal bar, if this doesn't just convert into a bear trend. There's still ifs. You know, guys, we determine a plan. We have a preconceived plan, but then we have to sit here and wait for our plan to get proven truthful. Because if it's not proven truthful, then we need a new plan. If the facts that we thought were lining up are no longer lining up, then we need to readjust ourselves. We need to do something different. Minute 20 left in this bar. Quick look at NQ. NQ seeing a little bit more of a push down. This honestly could still be a good buy for NQ. Still be a wedge. It would be a new low. And it would potentially be an overextension. Okay, briefly look at these. Briefly look at these. Getting used to the bar counter up there. Getting used to the bar counter. I have made it easy. If you can do a little work in C#, then you can turn it on and off really easily. You can get rid of the pre-market bars. If that's what you wanted, you can color code them. Alright, pretty good bear bar here. At the low of the day. We'll just have to see what happens from here. So we could just take a straight up bull bar here. I don't think it would be horrible necessarily. I kind of want to find a second entry for this though, really. I guess it depends. I guess it's just a matter of whatever you want to do. You can take a signal bar here if you get it. Or you could wait for a second entry. I think I'll wait for a second entry on a weak signal bar. If I don't get a really good signal bar here, then I'm probably going to wait for a second entry. All it is possible, this is just a brief sell-off because it is the morning, it is the open. Less than 3 minutes left. It's tempting, but I'm going to probably use a second entry on an outside bar too. So second entry on an outside bar, a bad signal bar, or a high one entry with a good signal bar. I think that's what I'm looking at right now. 2.5 minutes left. Alright, while this sorts itself out, here we go. Signal bar on NQ is looking a little bit better. Fair bit of risk. 51 points of risk. Good risk to reward ratio though. Right, so if it's a 2-to-1 here, oops. Guys, it's pretty cool, this risk to reward ratio calculator on Ninja. Yeah, it's actually just a little shy of 2-to-1 profit target here. It is pretty cool. It's I gotta think about it a little bit. It's Control F4. It just comes standard on Ninja. Control F4. I consider myself, generally speaking, maybe not on this keyboard, but generally speaking, I consider myself an expert NinjaTrader hotkey user. In fact, I even made a video on NinjaTrader hotkeys and some of the most common ones that most people will use. So it's a really older video. You can go check it out if you want. 30 seconds left in this bar. It's now or never, guys. I'm not taking a doji. I'm not going to do it. NQ also looks good. You're kind of taking, if you take both of these, you're kind of taking the same trade in a way. So I would say probably pick one and go with it. I'm going to pick ES. I'm going to put an order up.
Order submitted.
And I'm just going to wait. Kind of a weak bar, finishing a little under 50% of its midway point. So I'm going to sit here and wait for a second entry. I'm not going to use this as a signal bar. Now, of course, it can still hit this profit target, and if it does, that's fine. But we need to remember the importance of sticking to our trading plan.
Order canceled.
In fact, we can just go ahead and get rid of that for now. And we're just going to sit here and wait. Now, what would happen if we get another inside bull bar? That can also be thought of as a what's called a second signal, which can also, you can call it a second entry. That's fine. I feel like the definition is loose enough, but it becomes a inside pattern, which is a breakout pattern. It's a bar breakout pattern. Guys, I have several live videos, if you look back on my YouTube, where I get into breakouts before they happen, and a lot of that is because I understand these bar patterns. The only thing about getting into a breakout, it doesn't really matter who you are. If you get into a breakout before it actually happens, the truth is you really only have about a 60% chance of winning. Your odds increase if you let the breakout happen and you get in sometime when there's more confirmation. Now if it's a bear bar, it can still be an II pattern and a bullish breakout, but I'm not interested in really taking a bear bar here. We got to stick to the plan, guys. I really want good signal bars. I really do. Less than 2.5 minutes left. If it's an outside up bar, then we're just going to sit and wait for a second signal. Less than 2 minutes left in this bar. Let's take a quick look at NQ. Same thing happening. It's essentially the same trade. Once again, I would kind of pick one. I wouldn't really do them both. Might be interesting being short on Crude Light right now. It's a 15-minute. Oh yeah. Yeah, don't look so bad right there. Okay. I'm not so sure if we'll get a second signal bar. I'm not so convinced, guys. So how do we know when to trade a first signal and when do we trade a second signal? It really all depends on context. I know that I should look for buyers around here somewhere. Not completely sure where. I mean, we have some hints. This channel line here. Below. This would be a level where we could see some buyers. But we don't know exactly where they're going to come in at. Probably should mark these levels though. So we have a choice. We can mark it here. We can mark it here. I'm going to choose to mark it here. And make it relatively straight. A lot of these algorithm beta tests are going awesome. It's really cool with this new day trading algorithm, day trading stocks, and getting text messages throughout the day of all the trades that it's made. How much has it made so far? It's made, let's see, the last 2 or 3 days, it's made 2 or 3%. I have a screenshot I posted on my Discord. Let's see. It's done fine, especially for being in beta testing and only being going a few days. there's some of the profits from it. It enters and exits positions really quickly. Which is exactly what it's designed for. Alright, looks like NQ is starting to get rejected from the low of the day here. This, it's going to have a lot of risk, but that might not be too bad of a signal bar to take. It is not a second signal, though. Keep that in mind. But we do know that based on this bull bar here, that there were buyers in this area. So if we get another bull bar, we can assume that there's more buyers. Less than 2 minutes left in this bar. I'm debating on if it's actually good enough, though. I really am. Something, this doesn't always apply, but something that can be kind of helpful every now and then is you measure the leg, measure that leg, measure this leg, and sometimes that can kind of help you determine exactly how far you can expect a third leg to go. Now, one of the big differences here, though, is that we're at the open now, so there's a lot more orders coming in that can definitely affect leg size. Bull bar forming on NQ. I really wish that this would be a second entry or a second signal where it'd be push up. I wish this bar went above this bar and came down before giving me a signal. It could be a decent one to take. I'm not sure if I want to risk that much on NQ. Maybe next time I'll have MNQ as well. Not using this as a signal bar. Not going to use a bear bar as a signal bar. If this, and it probably won't be, but if this was an inside bull bar, I might consider it. Oh yeah, I did forget to mention, the algorithm also caught the big move in JP Morgan. That was pretty exciting. When I looked to see that, I was pretty excited. I don't know if any of y'all noticed that on the screenshot or not. Took that, I don't know, before I knew it was going to be this high. Alright, let's see what else is going on. We got 3 minutes left in this bar. I have a signal bar for NQ. Kind of a weak one though. Just a tiny little doji. Probably best you wait for a second entry here. So there's well, I guess technically that is the second entry, right? Because it's bull bar, push up 1, bull bar, push up 2. So I guess that technically is a second entry on that leg. I might wait for a second signal. I don't know. I personally, I don't think that this is. I just don't think it's as high a probability as you think it is. I think it might be better with a good signal bar. I think I could have taken it on the ES. Probably have to let that one go, but this continues to rally, our profit target's going to be up here. And maybe it won't. Maybe it'll come back down and I will get another chance to enter. When you look at this and you're looking at NQ, it is like, well, there's buyers here, and there's a rejection of the low. There's some more buyers here. It's just it ended kind of weak, really. If it had ended stronger than ended up here, I think it would have been a better signal. Maybe I would have taken that. Maybe if that was the ES, it's still a fair bit of risk here. Lots of selling in here. Probably going to go lower, but we might go a little more sideways. We have lots of bull bars, but almost all of them have relatively prominent tails. Not really a good signal bar here either, or else I might consider being short there. Gold is in this choppy trend. Kind of what happened to me. Got in on the breakout and got out somewhere up here. Didn't really make a lot, but I had to close before the market opened. Alright, so we're at the moving average now, so this is the first real test for bulls. Alright, it is an outside bar. Looks like we are finding some sellers at the moving average. Still got lots of time left in here though. NQ, like I said, a little bit better signal bar. Well, I guess you get a signal bar, not really the best signal bar. I think the signal bar itself could have ended a lot better. Selling pressure is building up for crude. We might could take this trade here.
Order submitted.
Let's get an order up real quick. There is It's a fair bit of selling. Let me look at the daily real quick. It's one of the disadvantages to having so many charts up. You know, it's not really that amazing on the daily. Mostly want to be aware of like this 50% range here. I don't want a higher low is what I don't want. And I know that the context here is relatively bullish. We did have a complete retracement here. It did have a big trend and breakout, so it's probably going to have a second leg down. Okay guys, I am willing to take a small risk here. I'm already up over $600. I don't really want to give it all back. So, and honestly, price is kind of far away, but I wouldn't mind entering up in here somewhere. We'll sit and wait on this, but if you're in this, and your profit target is going to be the low, your stop should be up here. It's kind of wide, but
Order canceled.
looks like you might get it. That's okay. We're going to come back to it. It's one of the disadvantages, really, of trading with multiple charts. When you have so many charts open, you're not as concentrated on one thing. But it's also a lot more opportunity. Alright, choppy range. I really want an entry, a second entry, somewhere near this low. If I get that, I'm willing to take it. I do have, and it's pushed kind of up here, but I do have a support area in here. We have a trend line if we zoom way out. We have a trend line here. I think I drew that on the 15. We have some support coming up, but it's not quite there just yet on these higher time frames. So being cautious, looking for a good trade, looking for something good. Almost took this on NQ, felt like it wasn't really the best signal bar ever, and decided against it. But I am still looking at this area to find buyers. I don't know if we're going to actually get something that meets our trade criteria, our plan, or not, but if we do, we're here to take it. Big push down. Definitely took me way too long to analyze this trade, but you can see the selling pressure building up in here. If you can just place a limit order somewhere in here and use a wide stop, that's pretty much what you got to do here. On gold here, look at it real quick. We have this nice little trend going, and we reached a lot of chop here. We got into some barbed wire. Now a lot of times when you have barbed wire, the first initial breakout will fail. And it's difficult to tell, but this right here looks like it might be the first initial breakout. I guess the main thing against it is I just wish it went a little bit lower, broke out below this low here. So what might happen though is we might be able to get a small retracement and then a scalp, just a little scalp trade back up. We'll see about that when it comes. Three and a half minutes left in this bar on the ES. Tight range. And it's to be expected. Remember, we're at the 20 EMA on the daily chart. We did get a surprise by the bulls, but we might have a day or two of sideways action before anything significant happens. Okay. Less than 3 minutes left here. Got to start thinking. Got to start thinking about this being a signal bar. How much risk is there? 13 3/4 risk, points of risk in the moment here. If we took this trade, we would not have a true 2-to-1 risk to reward. At least not with just the first profit target here. Although I might set it up high and then trail. But I am interested in this trade. A little bit riskier than what I actually want. I'm going to reduce down to 1 contract here. Stop it there. Waiting for a signal bar. Minute and a half left. Still not looking for an outside bar. Check the NQ real quick. If you get a decent signal bar here on the NQ, this is also a better trade to be in. Alright, 40 seconds left. Definitely has a reasonably high probability of ending as a bull bar. We are buying. This probably would be a better area to buy. Once again, probably another reason to trade small. It is 3 legs down though. I am willing to take this. I am willing to take a loss here if that's what it means. Maybe I can get in on a retracement. Think I can get in on a retracement? I think so too.
Order submitted.
Oh, we haven't broken the high yet. Remember guys, if you enter with the limit, you gotta wait for it to break the high. You gotta wait for it to actually trigger. And we'll get just a few ticks better price if we get filled. There's nothing wrong with that. There we go. Alright, come on now.
Order filled.
There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set my profit target up higher. And I'll trail with my stop when we get to this level here. Okay, I don't know if this is going to win or not. We are kind of far away from the support, but I am willing to risk 1 contract. It is still a wedge down. 1, 2, 3. It is a second signal. All right. Also, I do realize that my thumbnail says 117 and not 116. I don't know, that's what happens when you make your own thumbnail at the last second at 6 o'clock in the morning. Alright, so this is signal bar, no entry. This is an outside bull bar, signal bar. At the low of the day. Sit here and wait for it to develop. You are seeing kind of like this. One leg down, two leg down. Motion on crude. A little under a 50% pullback. Depending on where you are, I might move to break even. Just depending on where you're at. The reason why I say this might be a lower high is the main reason is just that on the daily chart here, I mean, this probably isn't going to be a bear trend. Now, it might be a bear bar closing at its low here, but even that's just, you know, to where we just were. Nothing else is really guaranteed. It's also closing the gap with this other bear bar. $40 left in this bar. Only short one contract. Or, I'm sorry, long one contract. Okay, not the worst bar. It's not incredibly significant though. We need to break this level and have a good break of it for it to be more significant. We also need to break this moving average here. So this is still more indicative of a range. It's an interesting word, by the way. Alright, still holding through this. I don't know what'll happen. Nobody really does. My microphone's too quiet? Okay. I agree, I need a better one. Give me just a second, maybe I can fix that. Give me 1 second here. There, can you hear me a little better now? Alright, we'll have to see if this gets bought back up again or not. We did face some resistance at the moving average. Only short one contract there. Still holding on to it. If this is a bear bar, if you're a bull, you're basically hoping that it's going to be climactic like the last one, and that we're just in a tight range here. And we'll have a break one way or the other. Alright, we're just sitting here waiting. No matter what happens, guys, you can't be in this game if you're afraid to take a loss. Alright, had a little bit of a tail on it. Let's see what happens here. Getting to be in a situation where really neither bulls nor bears have control. We either need a break at this level for us to find some more buying, or a break at this level for us to find some more selling. If anything, and I talk a lot about this with my one-on-one coaching, if anything, you really want to put your stop loss in a place where you can be dead wrong. And what I mean by that is, if my stop's going to hit, it's going to get hit. I want it to get hit because I was completely wrong about the direction of the market. What I don't want is for it to get hit from volatility, where my stop gets hit and then the market returns upwards. Now, sometimes that just happens anyway. I mean, it's happened to everybody, but you want to try to avoid it as much as possible. If I'm going to be wrong, I want to be dead wrong. I don't want to be semi-wrong. I want to be completely off. Because if I know that I'm completely off, then I can sit back and I can readjust myself. Alright, still just waiting this one out. Let's check on gold. Little scalp here. Not really the kind of trade I'm interested in. Signal bar, and it's a scalp to the previous high. Crude Light is going lower. We did miss getting in on a trade up here. If anyone else got in on it, though, congrats to them. We are sitting here waiting for the ES. Alright, starting to see a few buyers now. Alright, and right back down again. It's a very teasing market. I'm really kind of disappointed by bulls here. I would have expected them to have gotten out by now. I'm going to attempt to get out break even. I probably won't get to though. That was probably my chance. There's just been a lot of chances by the bulls. It's 1, 2. I'm not going to sit here in a trading range all day. If I can, I'm going to let the market pick its direction. If I want to get out of this too, I'm not going to allow it to hit my full stop either. Okay, let's keep looking. It'll do what it'll do. Alright, so we're going to keep looking for a trade here. Did not find the bull follow through that we wanted to. First entry, second entry, or signal, and second signal here. Didn't really find what we wanted. Trying to just kind of get out of this now. I think the bears are probably about to start coming in a little bit more. We're seeing more selling pressure. It is a sharp leg down. And we're beginning to get more and more selling pressure while the bulls have failed to get above the moving average. I'm going to go ahead and get out of this. And right now we're just going to wait for the market to pick a direction. And once it picks that direction, we're going to go ahead and jump in on it. Just going to wait it out here. Wow, are we going to go for it again? Okay, that was pretty unexpected, testing it again. I guess we should have left it where it was, huh? It's alright. Not a big deal. We can always correct mistakes, guys. Just gotta be patient. Patient and disciplined. Patience and discipline correct mistakes. Maybe a little bit of determination, too. Alright, just sitting here waiting for it to pick a direction. It's pretty 50-50 if it'll go up or down. Tight trading range here. In Q, very much the same thing. See this trade right here though, if you have barbed wire like this and you have the first initial breakout, which likely fails, you have a nice bull signal bar to go back long. This is really just a scalp to about the previous high. It's about all we got. And we're kind of back into the range. It's not saying that it can't go higher, but it is saying that it doesn't generally. It generally does this. It hits the high, it gets a little bit higher, and then comes back into the range. Still waiting here. Sometimes too, if things are especially choppy, you can come here to a little bit higher time frame. Alright, alright, alright. We're buying. We really need to wait till we're in this area here. That's what I think if we're buying. We're going extremely sideways. Extremely boring day thus far. Extremely choppy. Extremely choppy. Hey, what's up, dude? What's going on, man? Sitting here waiting to get out of this chop. Choppy, choppy, choppy. Probably going to be a trading range day today. Really, the context for both bulls and bears is kind of bad. We have the wedge up, profit target, and it's also a wedge pullback, 1, 2, 3. But we're at the moving average. And overall context here is really a trading range. Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I do like the bar counter. I think it'll be really helpful too for teaching and looking back at things too. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the bar counter for sure. I have some more coming out too. Just need a little bit more time to get it all right. Alright, gold is being very choppy today. And we almost got in on this trade of Crude Light. We just missed this one, getting short in here to the low. But that's okay. Really waiting on these two to develop. I do think we're going to break that low. Now I do so much analysis on the ES. Sometimes I need to come here and do more on the NQ too, especially if I'm going to have it up. But sort of the same thing. Once again, I'm going to go with what's a little bit closer here. And then kind of want to draw because there's got to be some kind of a bear channel in there. Pretty far away from it though. I don't think it's going to affect us too much. Let's see. Oh well, we are right around that channel. You can draw it. Draw it, however. Probably draw it there. The other thing I want to do is draw this channel here. We had it on the NQ, so we have to have it on the, or the ES, so we have to have it on the NQ, right? Alright, waiting to get out of this chop zone. Very, very boring day thus far. Very boring day on the ES. Real choppy. NQ, same thing. There's no very good trades here. Not very good trades. Crude Light. Having a push down. But once again, we look at this daily chart. We have hit our profit target in here, but in fact, let's just go ahead and put up. It may also test the high. It could. Generally speaking, just depends on how strong it is, but generally speaking, it's going to test this high, which it has. It's already tested this high. Let's put up another horizontal line real quick. It's already tested it, and so that's why we're seeing sellers. We also had a test this level and broke above it. These are all profit targets in here. These are all places where someone can consider taking profits at. Now, if we look at this, do you think that today is going to be a big bear day? It's probably not going to be. It's probably going to be a little bit more sideways. You're probably going to get sideways action before you actually get a real pullback here. It's the daily chart. Now you might consider switching to long in here on the 5-minute, but if you switch to longs, then just keep in mind that this is probably more of a range than it is a reversal. Now notice something about this real quick. Even though it's a tight range, notice that we're not fluent in the moving average. We're constantly rejecting it. This is a demonstration of bear selling pressure beginning to grow. Now it's not particularly, it's not, I gotta pick my words right here, it's not extremely strong, right? Because every big bear movement is getting bought back up, but we are constantly rejecting the moving average. So this increases the likelihood of a break. Now it might be a range, might be like a channel break, channel down to a level of support. I have that marked. We could also think of it somewhere under here. We'll have to see how it reacts here. These are just levels that I'm keeping in mind, guys. They don't mean anything unless the market has a significant reaction to them. If they don't have a significant reaction to them, then they're kind of just meaningless. Think about removing that since we don't really need it. What bulls need to do here is they need to start getting closes above the moving average. If they get closes above the moving average, then they're going to start convincing more people that maybe the market will go up instead of down. Got about 2.5 minutes left in this bar. Bulls have yet to get a close above the moving average. Even in this range, like I said, it's significant because even if we're in a tight range like this, and we're fluid on the moving average, then it's relatively 50-50. But until bulls can get a significant close above this moving average, you have to assume that we're going to go down. This does look like a bigger bull bar. We'll see what happens. We still got 2 minutes left. Seeing something similar in NQ. Gold is just steadily going up here. All right, big bull bar here. So this is still a wedge. It's still 1, 2, and then 3. Still our profit target. Still in it. We haven't gotten out of it yet. I tell you what, there is just nothing better than getting text messages of a bot trading for you. It just really isn't. Even if you're sitting here, you're trading one market, there's something else out there trading for you in another market. I can be sitting here trading stocks. I don't even have a stock chart pulled up. In reality, I don't need it either. Alright, we need to find some really good definitive trades. Today is extremely choppy. Anytime the market's choppy, we got to be real careful. We got to trade small. We got to watch our risk to reward. We got to be aware of these things. Crude with another leg down. This might be an interesting buy if it's a double bottom. This might be an alright buy. Might even be 1, 2, 3. That's certainly an option for it to be 1, 2, 3. This will be the third leg down. We're just going to have to see how it reacts. We do have 3 consecutive bull bars here and a decent signal bar, so that's not horrible. But the bulls need to do more to convince me if I want to take a long here. We are going higher in gold, alright. Breaking out of this barbed wire some. This is what barbed wire does, by the way, to breakouts. Failed breakout here. And broke out here. And then we still got rejected back into the range before going higher. Yeah, that's pretty much what breakouts do. Or what barbed wire does. Very, very tricky. It is looking like we have a reasonable chance of hitting our first profit target here. Alright, here we go, getting close to our first profit target for the bulls. Alright, we're pretty close here. We're definitely in a reasonable place to consider taking profits. We have this channel line here too, which is kind of affecting this profit target. Alright, we're just about at the profit target here. Anyone who took this wedge, 1, 2, 3, first profit target in here. Oh, I agree. I think the bot's really cool. I'm going to be releasing some updates for it soon too. And I promise I'll release something for NinjaTrader this week. I had to force myself to take a day off. I had to do it. Alright, still waiting in this market to develop some more. We're just about at our first profit target for the bulls. Taking this wedge, 1, 2, 3. Now we are anticipating today being some kind of a trading range day. Remember, on the ES we are at the moving average. So, not really anticipating a big bull day or a big bear day. Spent most of the day in this trading range, and now we're finally breaking out of it here. Alright, first profit targets should be hit now. Yeah. Alright, so now what options do we have if we're trading this? We're trading the wedge, 1, 2, 3. Oh, come on now. We've hit our first profit target, so we have the ability to either enter late at the end of any of these bars with relatively high risk. We also have the ability to wait for a pullback in anticipation of a second leg, which is reasonable. It's reasonable to think that you're going to get a second leg up. You do have an area of consolidation, 1, 2, probably got 18 seconds left, so It's going to be a good sized bull bar here, more than likely. So you get 3 good bull bars in a row. Breaking this channel, it's reasonable to think that any pullback you're going to find a buying opportunity. That'll be the second leg up. Anytime we have a wedge, what do we look for? How many bars, how many legs? Okay. So let's just see what the pullback looks like. We know kind of what to anticipate. Remember, once you have a plan, you say you think the market's going to do this. Now we wait for the market to prove us right or wrong. Alright, while we're waiting for the market, let's kind of look at this. In Q, same thing's happening, 1, 2, 3. Hasn't quite touched this profit target yet. You could also say, however, that because of the volatility here, that maybe that is the profit target, and that is the previous low. It's a little bit confusing, but we know that it's definitely somewhere between here and here. I'd probably still think it was here, because it's I guess a little bit more of a traditional way to look at it. But we still can anticipate the same thing. 10 bars, 2 legs. And we did not get a double bottom signal on Crude Light. Not even close. Gold is just trending at this point. I feel like it's pretty much by the close. Let me see here. Let's see if we can't do a little bit of work on gold real fast. Probably don't want to buy it just this second, but this is trending really nicely. Maybe it'll continue to trend. Obviously I don't really want to buy it right now. It's a 15-minute. I don't really want to buy it at what is potentially its highest point. But coming back down to the moving average, maybe we will. Alright, waiting on the ES still. Guys, if anyone's interested on one-on-one coaching, I do that, believe it or not. You can get in contact me with my Fiverr link in the description, or you can message me on Discord. I do have a free Discord that you can join. I post little tips and tricks there, and other little things, just to help you along your journey, completely free. And I have some other Discords. I have a Signals Discord, if you're interested in trading stocks, options, futures, ETFs. And I'm also developing an algorithmic trading platform. So if you're interested in that, join the free Discord or something. Join the Signals Discord. Contact me, get to know me. And access to access to that is a little bit limited, but I'm willing to let nice and interested people in. There's no cost for the algorithmic Discord at the moment, because everything is in beta. So I'm actually only like what, a little under 2 hours into this live stream. But guys, I've been sitting at the charts for between 4 and 4.5 hours already. I got here at about 6 this morning. Six, yeah, I guess about 6. So I guess about 4 hours. I've been here for about 4 hours. I did take a pre-market trade in gold. We did start the day up pretty good. Got kind of chopped out at the very bottom there. Probably should have held on to it, but I also didn't want to hold through that chop. We do have a pullback here. Now, considering the context of the day on the daily chart, if this is a bull bar here, I wouldn't really anticipate a high one entry succeeding here. I'll have to wait on that bar. So, something else to kind of note too is just how small this is. It's all very small. This leg up is only 3 bars, 1, 2, 3. Do you think the next leg up is going to be 10 bars? Probably not. Now, I imagine we're probably going to have to go for relatively small profit targets. Now, we do have another profit target here. It's not much higher. But we have to keep in mind the context of the day. Context of the day is that we're at the moving average on the daily chart. We're probably not going to get a big break either way. That means that any sort of upside you get as a bull is likely limited. Any downside you get as a bear is likely limited. And if you are a bear here, you probably look at this and see a double top. You do have a good signal bar. Makes me wonder if the maybe the smart move is to wait to see if bulls get a second leg up, see how weak that leg is, and then look for a short entry sometime after that, during or after. Alright, waiting for this bar to finish. We got a little under a minute left in it. See how strong it actually is. I do think what I'm going to look for is probably a short entry after a second leg up. I just feel like the risk to reward isn't there if you're a bull, because I'm not convinced of the bull's strength. I'm not. These 3 bars don't convince me. A retracement this deep doesn't convince me. If we get this bear bar and then we get a bull signal bar, it is still reasonable to think that we'll have a second leg, but you're probably not going to have a good risk to reward. At least to me, it almost feels like it'd be more reliable if you didn't look to go long here and waited for the bulls to exhaust themselves and look for a short entry. Now, technically speaking, maybe the context isn't the best if you're a bear, but if this is an inside bear bar, probably won't be. But if it is, especially with a good close, it is a sell signal. Three and a half minutes left. Alright, waiting on this to develop. Plan right now is to wait for another leg up and then look for a short entry. We are at the moving average on the daily chart, so I don't think that the market is particularly bullish or bearish. It's more likely that we're going to be in some kind of a range today. Let's check some other charts. For gold, it's kind of way up there. It's not really where I want to buy it. At least not for a day trade. Crude Light is continuing to be bearish. It's pretty steep. Let's see if this gets broken, and that might present another short opportunity. We're just at gold, so, and back to NQ. NQ and ES are extremely similar. Extremely similar. Got a minute and a half left in this bar. Alright, this bear bar is starting to get kind of weak. So as we go through this, what we want to do is we want to examine exactly how, if the bulls get another leg up, what that leg looks like. We don't want it to be especially strong, or else we'll have to switch our bias. It's not an issue if we switch our bias, it's just not what we anticipate for today. Now, like I said, depending on how this close, this can be used as a short entry, right? It's a bear bar. If you have a decent close here, you can use it as a signal bar. It's generally best that it's inside, though, not outside. But if you did take this, you have to be willing to scale into the trade. Alright, did get a little bear bar there. I'm not really interested in being short here. I want a little bit more of a pullback. Let's let the bulls get it out of their system first. And once we've let them run around a little bit, we'll come in here and get short. If you're willing to trade small, you're willing to take the risk, you can short just about any of these bars. Just be sure to trade small and be willing to scale in. It's not really my trading style to do that. Try not to do that too often. I did do something similar to that the other day. I don't really want to make a habit of it though. Alright, waiting to see if we're going to get the second leg up. I'm going to change it and make it a pretty color. Red, because this line is red hot. It's red hot because it's a profit target. Everyone's looking at this red line here. Alright guys, let's see. I wouldn't really mind taking a short entry near the second profit target. That would be nice. And if this ends up being a big leg up and I don't get a good spot to enter at, then it is what it is. Alrighty, dude, I'll catch you later, man. You have a good day working out. Alright, still waiting on the second leg up here. Less than a minute left in this bar. I wouldn't mind kind of a deeper pullback on gold. I think it would be a buying opportunity. Sitting here waiting. So we have two things that we can watch. We can watch the NQ and the ES. They're both doing very similar things. We can use the same logic for both of them, really. What I really want to see is, in fact, I'll take this real quick and adjust it. Probably needs to be more like right here. I can look for a short entry at this trend line here. I can look for a short entry at this profit target here, which I'm assuming that is going to be the secondary profit target here. Inside bull bar, this is a signal bar for the bulls. Not really the best one, not a particularly good one, which if we get filled on stop entries, maybe that'll be a good thing. So we got to look at things from a bullish context and a bearish context. From the bullish context, we do have a push up. It is just 3 bars. We have another 3 bar pullback. It does drop below 50%, briefly above the moving average, or briefly below the moving average here. Have to wait to see how weak this leg's going to be. I don't think the context here is particularly strong for bulls, but I could be wrong. Remember, it is still a wedge. We are still anticipating a second leg. Waiting for this to trigger on the ES. So you got to think, if you're a stop order bull, which is how we judge a lot of this, by the way, is stop orders. You get filled if you're 1 tick above the bar. So once we go above the previous bar and it becomes an outside bar, then we know that it's been triggered. That's what we really want to see. We want a little bit of a leg up before we look to take a short entry. Did trigger on the NQ. I'd like a little bit of follow through with it. Still plenty of time left, 2.5 minutes. Sitting here waiting for the market to develop. Want another leg up. We want to find a short entry somewhere up there. Remember, our requirements for this is we need a good signal bar. That is our #1 requirement, probably, is a good signal bar. So you might be like, well, can you make money without a good signal bar? So of course, you can definitely do that. It's not generally quite as probable, because you got to think, you're not seeing anything that's someone who has a lot more money than an individual or than a retail trader. You're not seeing anything they're not seeing. If you see a good signal bar, they're going to see a good signal bar too. If you see a bad one, they see it too. Now, like I said, sometimes the market is not perfect. It just isn't. But sometimes enough orders flood into the market that creates a bad signal bar. Or it creates, just a really big push. You don't always need the perfect signal bar to have a winning trade, but it is really helpful. Doesn't look like we're going to get a trigger here. We got 10 seconds left in this bar. Low probability to get a trigger. It makes you wonder too if the bulls realize that they have a low probability as well, and that's why they're not buying again. It is a signal bar for a second entry short on this leg. Not really the kind of trade I'm looking for though. I really wanted a little extra confirmation. Like I said though, you can look at this as a double top and see this as a signal bar. And that's fine, but this is a wedge. It wasn't according to my plan. Plan was to anticipate 2 legs. It still is. You don't always have to be right in your plan. You just have to have a plan and then let the market prove you right or wrong. Remember too, the cool thing about this is as I'm sitting here and trading futures, I'm also trading stocks too. My charts aren't open. I get text updates every time my algorithm buys or sells a stock. Oh, will I share those? Yeah, I might share those trades sometime. Still all under development though. Gotta master it, gotta get good at it. Alright, hoping for a second leg up for the bulls here so that we can look to get short. Where we anticipate, so our second leg up, we can anticipate it just a little bit higher up, hopefully above, somewhere a little bit above this trend line here, or above our secondary, or at or around our secondary profit target right here, just this red line. Like I said, if you are a bear and you're looking at this, we do have the double top here with a good signal bar. The reason, like I said, we didn't take that is because we wanted a second leg up to a lower high and we wanted to take that trade. Not sure if we're going to actually get it right now. NQ, it's diving down pretty good. Sell the close on crude. Alright, here's a big bear bar. Okay, looks like we're just going to have another push down here. So we're going to have another push down. We got to reevaluate our situation, what's happening. Give me just a second here, guys. Guys, I have a lot of people messaging me about one-on-one lessons. If you're interested, be good to message me soon. My schedule is filling up pretty good. Alright, so what do we have to anticipate? Any sort of a break at this low is likely going to be relatively significant. Maybe something that you could sell. You'll just have to see what it looks like. We do still have this level here. That's something to keep in mind. It might just sell down to here. Remember, we are anticipating a range today. Alrighty, everyone. I think I am about to call it for the day. At least for live streaming. I'll probably keep my charts open though, and look to take some more entries throughout the day. If you're interested, guys, I have a free Discord in the description. You're more than welcome to join. I also have NinjaTrader custom indicators like the bar counter that you see here. I also do one-on-one coaching lessons, and have a signals Discord for stocks, options, ETFs, futures, based on my own seasonal strategy. So if you're interested, message me on Fiverr, message me on Discord, do one of those, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll come back tomorrow and do this again, and then that'll be it. We can't trade on Saturday. There's no trading then. Alright, everyone. Best of luck trading. Have a good day.